If you want to do hardware, you have to step into the world of unknown unknowns. So in the world of software, you have unknowns and you work to kind of get past them and understand what you have to do. But when you step into the world of hardware, you have no idea what's going to come up, and you have no idea of how you're going to solve it, and you have no idea who's going to be able to help you. And that's the first problem that you're going to face the moment you start working on a startup where you're focusing on hardware products. The most difficult thing about doing a hardware startup is you have to essentially throw out everything you know about software and understand that you are not the center of the world. Everything that's all around you, especially the global economy and how things work, is essentially your master, and you have to work towards it, and you have to make sure that everything you do works within this world. So how do I demonstrate this? This is a perfect example of the world we live in. So the road to actually getting anything done in hardware, it's literally paved with a lot of casualties. Casualties in design, casualties in resources. Everything you think you're going to ship can be done better. Every time you look at it again and again and again, it's going to be done better. So if you're waiting on a supplier in China to provide a specific part, you have to go back to the drawing board the moment they say the factory caught on fire or the parts that you needed just didn't come in, because you have a deadline and you have to meet it. So you have to figure out a way. Do I go back to the customers and do I tell them that, okay, do you want to switch this specific part for another one, or do you want to wait another 6 months? Because these are like the actual realities that are going to come up day in, day out. So when you talk about deadlines, and a lot of people talk about Kickstarter campaigns, and you see an idea on there and you think that it's going to be something that's going to change the world, that's like the 1% right at the top. The work, 99% of it still has to come. And it has to go through this machine that, honestly, it's hard to put into words, but the best way I can describe it is every single component you see on the right results from many different partners all around the world going into a single product that has to be packaged and created and brought to a specific shipping port, and then that port you have to work with other shipping partners, and you have to decide if you want to inventory those items or ship them directly to the customers, or are you going to be holding them in specific warehouses all around the world. So you have to worry about customs, you have to worry about all those other things, and then once you've actually got it into the hands of the users, then you have to worry about, okay, how do we service these products? How do we make sure that all the bugs that they're facing, can we even deal with these problems that are going to come up? So what's the one thing that I can tell you to do? Design to ship once, and honestly, update as much as you can. Software and firmware can be updated. Hardware and the industrial design cannot. So design from that perspective and move on forward. Keep doing what you can and keep updating as often as you can. So now how do you deal with all this stuff? Patience. That's the number one thing I can tell you when it comes to hardware. Patience is the most important thing when it comes to dealing with partners all around the world, and especially your users. It takes patience to sit there and wait for the factory to tell you that production order has begun, and it's going to be 2 months until you get everything you need. And you get another call and says, now it's going to be 3 months. And what can you do? Nothing. There is literally nothing you can do. So patience is the most important thing that you have to bring into this thing. So hopefully I haven't scared you all away from hardware, because the main question is, why do we all even do this? Everyone likes to say that we're entrepreneurs and we take risks and we do all these important things. But the most important thing is that I personally don't like the word entrepreneur, because what we do, and what a lot of you probably do in this room, is you can't just say like, oh, we make businesses and we are undertaking enterprise. You're essentially taking the same risks that the explorers took in all of our, in essentially a shared ancestry amongst all of us. But the question is, if we're all explorers, what are we even really doing here? Because the question is, we were born too late to explore our world, but we were born too early to explore the universe. So what are we even doing here? What can we even do? We call ourselves these explorers, we take these risks. It's because the future that we're building is not going to build itself. We have to build that trampoline. So when someone tells you if we can do this, give them that one answer. yes, and don't say no. Never say no. And that's it. Thanks for listening. Oh, questions?